Hi, this is Bridget Chandler, and I wanted to take a few moments just to talk with you about the CE 460 practicum that has been approved as a substitution for internship for in-service technical education instructors. It is like internship, but it is set up for those who are already in the classroom teaching and not a pre-service teacher, in other words. So my challenge was to come up with a way to document what you as in-service teachers do that mirrored what a pre-service teacher would do during internship, and to have a way to document that so that I knew, you knew, everyone knew, the State Department knew that what you were doing and paralleled that already, which I know that seems like common sense because you are teaching, but anyway, we still needed some way to document it. So I've come up with a record, and I call this the Teaching Experiences Professional Development and Training Record. And this is a PDF form, and you will fill it out, and then you attach that back in Blackboard. So it's very simple. It starts out with your name, your email address, the semester you're in, so this will be fall 2016, the major and course, and so that is your technical ed, and it's CE 460. Program area, technical ed, number of years teaching, so how many years you've been teaching, please add that. The first year that you taught, so if you've been teaching 10 years, then 2006 would be your first year, and then the name of your principal or your career tech director. They may be the same, or it may be two different people. So you add that information just to give me some contact info, and again, just to help me document that you are an in-service teacher, and it would also help to indicate which new teacher training program you completed by knowing when you started teaching. Alright, when you scroll down the document, you'll see the title, then next, and that is in gray. By the way, it's color-coded just to help too. The first section you come to is the Business Industry Certification section. Those areas are hyperlinked, those subtitles, so that Business Industry Certification is hyperlinked. If you click there, it will take you to more information about business industry certification through the ALSDE website. Okay, so there are two phases, unless you're a brand new program, and that would just be initial certification. But the two phases listed are continued compliance or recertification or recertification. And so if you're in continued compliance right now, you would just write the date over in the right hand column of when you were approved into continued compliance, and then what year you were recertified through business and industry certification. Then we move down to Educate Alabama, and these are the objectives that are used in the school system to evaluate teacher performance. We also use those during internship. So again, this parallels what's going on with pre-service teachers. And the objectives are listed for you on the left-hand side as self-assessment, classroom observations, dialogues, principal data, collaborative summary report, and professional learning plan. And as an in-service practicing teacher, I'm sure that you're aware of those because you've had to complete those. And so you will just add in the right-hand column the dates that you completed and or these were approved. So for example, if you've just completed your Educate Alabama professional learning plan, maybe this past May, then you would just add that as your date. So here again, all you're doing is adding the dates of when this was either approved or you completed it. Moving right along, the next section is the Alabama Quality Teaching Standards. This section, again, aligns with our internship, with the standards that we expect intern teachers to meet with excellence, because we're getting ready to send them out into the classroom. And so, in that same vein, as an in-service practicing career technical teacher, we think that you are meeting that with excellence. And so this is a self-evaluation type section though. The others where you were documenting where you've been evaluated by someone else, like your principal or your career tech director or another administrator. Whereas in this section, this is more of a self tool, because you're going to list the activity that you feel meets that standard and then you will list the date and then the amount of time it took, not necessarily the time that you started it, but like if it took 2 days or 30 minutes or whatever it might be. So it goes through the standards with content, knowledge, ability standards. The subsections that are listed with beneath that, like academic discipline and curriculum, those are just to help expand on that standard. And again, you can go, it's hyperlinked on the page to the Alabama Quality Teaching Standards, so you could actually go and read even more information about what that standard would look like if you're not sure. But it's hard to say which activity you would decide met that standard, because everyone is doing different activities and different things. So that's why I said this is very much a self-assessment portion. So you will list the activity you feel like demonstrates that you've completed, demonstrates your content, knowledge, and ability standards through your academic discipline and your curriculum. So maybe this would be summer conference. You went this past summer, and you went to certain sections on curriculum specifically, like lesson plans, and you gathered lesson plans. Or maybe you met, I'm just brainstorming. Maybe you met with others from your department, or maybe you've met with other people in your school system, or maybe whatever it might be, and you've talked about creating better lesson plans or using the plans of instruction and how to expand those. Anything to do with academic discipline, which is your area, the technical area that you teach, or the curriculum planning of that instruction. Next, we have the content knowledge and the knowledge standards. Then we have professional ability standards, and those are subtitled for you: collaboration, continuous lifelong learning, professional learning, Alabama specific improvement, school improvement, ethics, local, state, federal laws, and policies. Okay, you do not have to address each one of those. It is quite reasonable that you have addressed each one of those even this past school year, or in the school year you're in right now. But you do need to show where you've addressed professional ability standards. So you don't have to meet each one of them. You don't have to list a separate activity for each one of them, because that's not necessary, but just that you have about how much time it took you and what day you did that. Professionalism, knowledge standards is next. Literacy ability standards. Following that, then literacy knowledge standards, teaching and learning ability standards, human development, organization and management, learning environment, instructional strategies. I found a typo where I had misspelled learning environment. Then we move to teaching and learning knowledge standards. Next is diversity ability standards, and that moves through cultural, ethnic, and social diversity, language diversity, special needs, and so forth. And then diversity knowledge standards. So those are the big standards that are showcased, if you will, as part of the Alabama Quality Teaching Standards. And so to complete the 460 practicum as an in-service teacher, this is what you turn in. You complete this document, and then you send this back into me. I have not even put a link on Blackboard, but I am putting a link on Blackboard so that you can submit it there, so that when we archive the courses from semester to semester, your submission will be archived. So again, this is just to show that you are doing what we know you're doing, because you're an in-service teacher, but it's a way for you to help document what you've done for course credit here at Athens State. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much. If you have any questions after this, just let me know. Bye.